One thing queer, one thing queer, one thing queer. Let's get one thing queer. Let's get one thing queer.
Hello and welcome to One Thing Queer. My name's Jenny Baton and my pronouns are they, them.
And I'm Kelsey Wren and my pronouns are she, her.
Hello, friend.
Hello.
How are you on this lovely Sunday?
I'm good. I'm double checking the recording.
Oh, yes. We got to double check.
Check.
Quality control. Done.
That's what I'm used to.
Yes.
But yeah, we did it.
We did it.
Where are we today?
We are at mi casa again. We're drinking some coffee, some horchata latte from La Monarca. It's a coffee place by my house.
Very cool.
Very yum.
It's very good. I was going to say, if you're white, it's horchata.
Horchata. Exactly.
Yeah, that's how I say it.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it's very good.
Very cinnamony.
We had pan dulce.
Yes.
That was very
Ooh,
good
you
also.
said it, friend.
Well, thank you.
You usually say conchas.
Conchas?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I don't know.
Well, we did eat conchas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Yeah. Correct.
Cool. Got it. I try to also say how it's supposed to say.
Yeah.
Be said.
I feel that. Well, thank you for driving because it's pouring out rain.
Oh my god, I made it through the wet tundra of
Oh my god.
Just kidding.
You really like we were talking this morning and I was like, friend, if it's too intense, like we'll just skip a week.
I was thinking about it. I was like, I could do this. Like, I was like, people are driving to work today, aren't they? Like, this is work. Well, not work, but like, this is work.
Yeah.
I can do this. And I was like, well, I'll see how far I get. And if I have to turn around.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
I have AAA, whatever you need.
Yeah, but it was fine. There's only like 2 spots that I was like, yee.
Yeah.
But it was fine. I'm glad I didn't stay home. So,
Okay.
yee.
Yay! So yeah, we are gonna talk about, or do you want to shoot the shit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
What did you do this week?
Yesterday I went to my partner's friend's little white elephant party, and I won a Starbucks gift card.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very nice. And then so the gift that I brought was this it was like this furry sleeping bag, so it's like not meant to like go outside in. It's just like a little sleeping bag if you want to be like cozy. And I got it at this place called Crazy Boss in Fontana, California, and they were fighting for it.
Oh.
People were fighting for it.
And you won the fight?
No, I mean, I didn't want to take what I brought. So yeah, everybody wanted it.
Those? Oh, I thought you meant when you went to go buy it, you were fighting.
No, everyone at the party was fighting over it.
What a good gift.
I guess so.
Very cool.
And there's like a lot of Tauruses, like my
Luxury softness.
Yes, exactly. I was like, I'm sure a Taurus is going to end up with it.
That's amazing.
And so the person that picked it first was my partner's friend's mom, and she's like, as soon as I saw it come in, I was like, ooh, that one's mine. And so she got it, and pretty much like the next person after her stole it from her, which was my partner's friend's husband. And my partner's friend is a Taurus.
Oh my god.
So as soon as I was like, I really thought a Taurus was gonna take that. As soon as I said that, her husband went to steal it.
That's hilarious.
But then it got stolen again.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's good though. It's a good gift.
Stolen, several times, but yeah, it was fun.
Nice.
We had a bunch of non-alcoholic beer. It was so great because I drink, but I don't like being hungover, and I worked today, and then I had the podcast, so I was like,
I feel you.
Yeah. So I've been doing that. I have like a full week of work ahead of me, which is fine because I need to recoup from holiday shopping. You saw my Christmas tree.
Oh yes, I did.
So
I was like, ooh, and you're like, that's all me.
that's all. I mean, it's me and my partner. But yeah,
I think I got it.
it's a lot. You got the gnat. There's been a gnat we've been fighting with since you came over.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, I feel you with the shopping.
Yes.
Yeah, so trying to recoup for that too. Crazy shopping, and like trying not to. This is the time of year it's hard for Bernie and I because we always buy what we want anyways, so it's like oh, I want to get that, but like, should I get that? Should I leave it for somebody to get for me? Or do I tell somebody? Or like, do I buy it for you? Did you already get, like, oh,
I know.
it's constant.
I'm going to be honest with you, are the last person on my list. So you're the only person I have been like battling, like what I want to get for you, because I want it to be very special. And I've just been going back and forth on like what to get you.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I just like, you are a very thoughtful gift giver, and I don't have that history of being a thoughtful gift giver. I'm a good gift giver, but I'm not like as thoughtful as you are. And I really want to be thoughtful. So I was like just battling a bunch of ideas in my head. I'm like, should I do this? Should I do that? So you are literally like the only person unmarked on my list, because
Sorry.
I'm still working on what I want to get you, because I want it to be special.
It's a common theme, because even Gloria was like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And I told Bernie also that like, I was like, Gloria kind of called you out, because she asked him what does Kelsey want, and Gloria was like, I got nothing. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what I was telling. Anything you guys have ever gotten me, I love.
I know, friend, and I know you don't care, but I do.
I
Like, no,
Yes.
I care about what I give people. Obviously, like you saw my tree.
Yeah.
So like I love giving gifts,
definitely.
but I want it to be special.
Yeah.
And yeah, Gloria asked me too, like what you want. And I'm like, all I know is Kelsey wants self-care stuff.
I mean, the fact that she or anybody is going out of their way to ask other people in my life, that's already like the gift to me. Like,
Yeah.
that's sweet enough,
Yeah.
you know?
Hava did too.
Oh, what? They're all just getting outed today, but I love you guys. Thank you so much. It's like, even Bernie was like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
these are the things because I'm very much like that. If there's something I want, I'm just going to buy it. Like,
I know.
And there's a lot of stuff I don't buy for myself. Like I was telling you, like self-care stuff. I don't spend money on that.
Yeah.
Cause it's normally expensive too, but I don't expect anybody to buy expensive things like that. Like, I'm like, I told Gloria, I was like, things that like you thought of me and saw that. Gloria got me a blanket last year for my birthday. And it has like, I don't know, it's like a skeleton, like Happy Halloween thing.
Yeah.
I use that every day.
Yeah.
Every single day I use that blanket. Things like that. Like, I don't know, there was slippers that Valerie got me. I use those all the time too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like the tea that Gloria got me, I used all of it. Like, I don't know, it just made me think of stuff. I was just saying like, oh, I like these scents, and I like these, I like ghosts and bats. Like,
I know what you like.
I know. I just
I want to make you cry.
you're gonna cry, but
Friend.
sorry, but you are.
I mean, I don't mind crying.
Yeah. I would like to stop crying. That'd be great.
No, I'm gonna make you cry.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna make you cry.
Well, fine then.
I'm working on it.
Nice.
I've been like literally making lists. I'm like, what about this? What about this? I mean, there are things that I am like, I know for sure I'm getting, but I was like still trying to like plan it out, because like it's double gifts, because your birthday is like 2 days from Christmas.
Thank you for saying that.
Or for me, Mexican Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, for me, Christmas is the 24th. It's
Yes,
not the 25th.
definitely.
Technically, it's 3 days from Christmas. But
Definitely. Yeah. Gloria had sent me something that was like something about a study that Christmas babies get less like presents or something.
Yeah.
And she was like, is this real? Like, weren't you like because I was the only girl too. So I was kind of spoiled, but in different ways.
Yeah.
And I was explaining to them that like, it was always like one big gift. This is your big gift for both things. And it was like, okay, cool.
that sucks.
I mean, they were nice gifts. Like I'm not really like, I don't count them. I never really noticed, but it was more like when I went out with my parents, like separately, they're like, oh, we got this. Like, we'll pay. Like, it's things like that. I got
Gotcha.
spoiled in that way.
Yeah.
Which was great.
No, I always do 2 gifts.
Yeah. You do always do 2 gifts.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah. But most of my friends do too. So that's I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bernie does also. So
Yeah.
that's good. But yeah, growing up, it was like, here's your one big gift.
Yeah.
And they were asking me if I ever had like, birthday parties. Not really, because it's right next to Christmas, so nobody could ever go. And if I did, it was like the 14th or the 16th.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not really like your birthday, you
Yeah.
know? It's weird. Plus, like my brother's birthday is also, my niece's birthday is in December. Bernie and his siblings are all 3 in December also. December's a rough
Expensive month.
expensive month.
It
for
is.
sure. It makes up for not spending presents really the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's true. But still.
My mom's is also in November.
Oh my god.
So it's like all right here. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm excited. I'm excited for your birthday.
You know, I posted that thing where it's the Volturi from Twilight, and they're like Capricorns waiting for their
I
birthday.
know. I'm like, why is that you?
It's me.
Quite literally. You're like, I'll proper like, it's almost my birthday.
I loved it. I was like, yep, that's how it feels right now.
I'm so eager to start cap season.
Me
I'm so
too.
excited.
Yeah, let's get into this cardinal energy instead of
Hell
this
yeah.
the Sag energy. Ooh.
Bring me back to my roots. I got 4 houses in cap, so like I thrive in cap energy. I'm gonna have a resting bitch face out towards the end of December and January. So if you see me,
Yeah.
just know it's just
Yeah.
the vibe I'm in.
It is.
I'm not mad.
Yeah, I'm not mad. It just this is just what my face looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 5 in cap, and they're all in the 6th house.
Yeah.
Do with that what you will. It means that I'm like hardcore into routines, and I also thrive in them though, because I noticed a lot of times if I was working like a regular job and I had weekends off, and I still pretty much kept to my routine. I ate lunch at the same time, kind of like, and if I don't do that, I feel really out of sorts. I'm
Yeah.
like, and it's not just like I need to be told what to do. It's just that like that's what feels comfortable. It's, I don't know.
Yeah.
The less I have to think about that stuff, the more brain power I have to think of other things.
Yeah. I feel that, friend.
Yeah, definitely. But
Yeah.
the cap energy, man.
Ready for it.
Yeah.
Ready.
Let's do it.
Cash money.
Do it. Yeah, money.
I'm like, money's coming in.
as a person who has a lot of cap placements, I kind of hate money, but
I love it.
I know.
Give me all the green. Why do you think I have so much green in my house?
You really do, but it's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's changed since you first came.
I know it evolves like on a monthly basis, I think. I finally put up my crumb vinyl.
Oh my god!
I was like trying to find a place where I'm like, well, black frames. Maybe that will be my black frame wall.
I love it.
Yeah, and I don't know what else. Oh, I put up wallpaper.
Yeah.
I put up wallpaper, and my partner is a Taurus, and they're a graphic designer. So they looked at my doing as an Aries, sun and moon, and Mercury, the way I process information. And for me, it's good enough, but it's like all... It's just not perfect. And my partner just like comes in. I'm like, oh, did you see my wallpaper? They come in and they're like, oh. And then I just hear silence. And I'm like, you hate it. They're like, babe, what is this? It's not symmetrical. They're gonna hate me for this. It's not symmetrical. I was like, I'm sorry, but it's good enough for me. Did you get
I
the
got
net?
it.
You got it, friend.
I got it. Sorry.
Okay. Let's hope that was the last one.
Yeah. No, I feel you too. See, my thing with my Gemini moon is that I would have to pick a day where I'm ready to be like super particular to make sure they match up. Because if it's a day where I don't care, they're just not going to match up. And it just is what it is.
I never have those days. Like for me, I'm impulsive. So as soon as I got it, I put it up.
I bet.
And I have, my neighbor has my other package where the other two are, the other two rolls that are left for me to do the rest of my wall. And like after we're done, well, actually, no, I have work. After I get back from work, I'm going to tackle the rest of this wall.
Do it. You can do it. I think it looks great, but I feel you that I would like,
yeah.
It depends on the day where I would be like, okay, this needs to line up or it doesn't need to line up.
I know it's not perfect, but honestly, for my standards, I'm cool with it.
It looks great. I think it's very camouflagey also. Did you get a gnat also?
I did.
This is the gnat episode.
This is the gnat episode. I have a plant that is, I think, sick or something because there's like a bunch of gnats. So I made like this like vinegar, soap, and sugar water, and it's become a gnat graveyard. And I don't really even want to see like the bottom of that bowl. And I think after I'm done scavenging and hunting for the gnats, I will get rid of that bowl because I'm like, it's just deceased gnats in that bowl.
This is so anybody who at the time we didn't record correctly, this is pretty much what plant and gnat talk is. What
Yes.
is what y'all missed.
Yes, that's what y'all missed.
Yeah, but I don't know. that's nothing's happened really since the last time we recorded for me.
Yeah.
I just hung out. It was my brother's birthday yesterday, so we got some Thai food.
Cool.
That was cool. I got him a cool like Lego Darth Vader head thingy where you have to like build it and it creates this like head bust of Darth Vader to sit on his desk because he like loves Star Wars.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, but
Happy birthday to your brother.
yeah, happy birthday. I don't think he listens, but I told him
in
happy
case.
birthday person. That's it. Watch, he's gonna be like, hey, thanks.
I know. He's like our top listener. He's listened to every episode like 50 times.
Multiple times, I know.
We're
Way to
getting
go.
close to 5,000 downloads.
Oh my God.
Which is crazy.
That's very crazy.
Oh, the sun's coming out.
Not surprising.
Sorry. ADD.
Yeah. I saw the light change behind you and I was like, there's the sun.
But yeah, what were we talking about?
I don't know.
Here we go.
Yeah.
ADD again.
Very much so. But
Yeah, what are we? Oh, I guess that concludes
shooting the shit, yeah.
shooting the shit. What are we talking about today, friend?
Well, I should ask you this question. What are we talking about today?
So today I came across a TikTok video of this TikToker. Their name is SRAM, and they were talking about the concept of being a non-binary lesbian and how it's become so controversial. And as one, as a non-binary lesbian, I think sometimes I get questions regarding like how that's possible. So I thought, we would start a conversation to kind of, educate people as to why it is a valid term for someone like me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that identify as a lesbian, and they're not always women. So yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about it. And I did pull up some references to an article, and this article was written by Red Broadwell. They're non-binary and they are from the UK, and it was on the website rainbowandco.uk. So first, I'm going to kind of give the definition of being a lesbian. So it refers to a woman who has a romantic and or sexual orientation towards women. Some non-binary people may also identify as this term, and that is from stonewall.org, which SFRAM talked about on their TikTok video regarding this. And then another one was on Vanderbilt University. Again, lesbian, it usually refers to a woman who has a romantic or sexual orientation towards women. Some non-binary people also identify with this term, as well as the Human Rights Campaign also had that definition. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that there's really no term for being non-binary and being attracted to women. So I feel like the reason I identify as a lesbian is because I identify with the community of being a lesbian. And to me, my sexuality and my gender do intertwine in a sense. And that's not always the case for people. And obviously, like, it's everything always depends on like the person and their experience. So I thought I would share a little bit of this article. The definition of lesbian isn't simply, end quote, a woman attracted to another woman. It never has been. As long as lesbians have been around, not every lesbian has identified as a woman. Naturally, part of the reason for the very limited modern definition of lesbian stems from the rigid gender binary and the systemic elimination of other gender identities from non-European cultures. So, the more correct definition of a lesbian is a non-man attracted to exclusively non-men, to encompass the many lesbians that do identify with the term women for one reason or another.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Totally makes sense. Yeah, definitely. Like, I think too, because I know that like sapphic also would describe that.
Yeah.
But like we don't really use that a lot.
It's like old timey.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with lesbians, I know it used to be like a rigid definition before, but like I think in that TikTok video we should play also, but I think in that they were talking about that like definitions change.
Yeah.
Like it's very much, and as we get more understanding of things and as we like unlearn a lot of the binary that's been put and pushed on us, we come back to what things actually, we're like coming back around to what things were actually meant to mean.
Exactly.
Instead of being implicated to exclude certain people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, there's really not a particular term for a non-binary person, you know, just being attracted to women. So that's kind of what we hold on to. And it also comes from like the culture of lesbianism, you know. I feel like for me, I identify as a lesbian because I am not attracted to someone who's not a woman. You know, I'm attracted to women, period. For me, non-binary people too, like but that's, you know, just kind of like my personal thing. Everybody has their own, you know, way of kind of seeing it.
Well, yeah, because it's also, again, it's your definition. Because I mean, we could further go and say that if you're attracted to women and non-binary people, some people would say, wouldn't that make you like pansexual? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, because your definition is for you.
Yeah. For me, like the reason I'm not comfortable at, using pansexual or bisexual is because for me, under that umbrella, there is men. Yeah. You know.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
You know, so for me, I don't identify as pan because men are included in there.
Gotcha.
And so basically I'm just attracted to non-men. So that, to me, that is what being a lesbian is.
Totally.
You know
totally
what I mean?
Makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
All right. So I'm going to play Sade's video.
A lot of people get so mad when I say that I'm a non-binary lesbian, but there are so many articles that say non-binary lesbians have always existed. One research of the term non-binary lesbian on Google will show you this. I'll also show you this. Wikipedia and Google says it's woman loving woman, and that's what I always think it was. Guess what? Definitions change as we become more inclusive as a society, and that's okay. Stonewall.org defines it as refers to a woman who has a romantic and or sexual orientation towards women. Some non-binary people may also identify with this term. Here's that definition again from Vanderbilt University. Here it is again from the Human Rights Campaign. I honestly don't care what Wikipedia and Google have to say about this. I think instead we should be listening to queer experiences, queer dictionaries, and queer history for these terms.
Amen.
Yeah, I was gonna say 100%. Yeah, because like you said, it doesn't apply to you because that's your experience. And now that you mentioned the men part of it, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, like that's totally makes sense. Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's simple, you know. Like to me in my head, it made sense. And after coming out, I mean, when I first came out, I was with a man, and I came out as bisexual because I was with a man. But I've always known I was gay, and I was just talking to my partner about this last night. Actually, it was just like there was a point in time where I thought I wanted to get married, and I thought I wanted children, but that all stems from being brainwashed since childhood that's what I was supposed to do. That is the fairy tale. If you want to be happy, the steps to be happy is you need to get married, you have to have kids, you buy a house or whatever. Like society depicts perfect happiness in that sense, in that way. When I came out, I kind of stopped. There was like a switch in me that was like, I'm done living for other people. And I started to self-reflect and really think, like, what do I want? What makes me happy? No offense to people who are married. No offense to people who have children. Like, this is just my personal experience.
What makes them happy.
Yeah.
It should be equally, you can do what you want to be.
Exactly.
You know, to be happy.
Exactly. But honestly, like from my experience, I don't know anybody who has children and married who is completely and utterly still like crazy about their partner,
like in love with their life
or fully happy. Not to say, like, I know it's going to be controversial for some people and like people are going to disagree with me. This is just my personal experience. This is just my opinion. And this is just what works for me. For me, that's not happiness. And I was telling my partner, like, I really hope I get to grow old with you. Simply because, like, we don't want to get married doesn't mean I don't want to have a life partner. Like, I really want them to be my life partner. I really want to grow old with them. And I'm still a hopeless romantic. Simply because I don't want to feed into the patriotic, or what is it? yeah, like the patriarchy of like, this is what you need to do in order to be happy, doesn't mean that I can't. And I like my freedom. I like doing whatever I want. I like being spontaneous. I like to only like provide for myself. Like if I'm working for myself, like not having to spend that money on kids. Like I'm sorry. Like
I mean, I feel you. I feel you 100%. I'm like,
yeah, and that doesn't make me a bad person.
Yeah, I found better things to spend my money.
Exactly. I like, to me, that's just my personal experience, and I still like, I respect motherhood. I think being a mother is like, so being a parent, because you could be you could have a child no matter what, but just being a parent is a very special thing. And I think, like, I admire people who are parents. I respect it immensely because it's not easy. It's just something that has never been a dream of mine.
Yeah, well, that's just it. Is it looked like I have a lot of siblings. I have like 14 nieces and nephews. And that started, the first one came about when I was 13. So from 13, I've seen how these people, how my siblings are raising their kids, and it looks hard. So in those like formative years, I'm like, oh, this looks really hard. I don't think I want to do this. And not that, like, I'm sure if something happened, I would be able to, do what I got to do.
Yeah.
But having the choice, it just doesn't feel personally for me like a fulfilling part of my life, like that. And I 100% agree with you that, like, it doesn't sound fun. And I mean, I know we don't get to have fun our whole lives, but we can try to make as much fun as possible with our lives, I think.
Yeah.
And it's kind of something, how you were talking about society, like the pressure of it. It's something I was mentioning in the last episode, is that like when I bring outside like POVs to my life, I'm like, oh, like I haven't done this. People might say, like, we're not happy, we're not married, we don't have kids. But like when I look at our lives and we still laugh every single day, like that, you can't tell me I'm not winning. Like,
exactly.
With like that, like, and I've seen, I've had nieces and nephews since I was 13. So I've seen those marriages. My partner's been there through other marriages coming and going.
Yeah.
And they were married. So to me, not for, if you're married, obviously it means something to you, but to me, it doesn't mean anything. Like, because I've seen it, it's not this all, like this magical thing that like can never be broken.
Exactly.
To me, the bond is more important. Like to me, the fact that we literally choose each other each day, and it's not just like we are held together because we have paperwork. Exactly. That to me, and I think obviously you agree that means more to me than that.
Yeah, personally, to me that means more.
Yeah.
So that's why, and honestly, that's the biggest reason my partner and I are together. Because that's kind of something we bonded over. Because it's really hard to find people that align with that idea. And I honestly didn't think I would find someone as quickly. I would, like, when I met my partner, I was not looking at all. I do remember. You do remember.
I do remember teasing you about that.
Yeah, and I was like, no, like I'm not ready. I don't want, like, I was just ready to be by myself and just like start my life. And yeah, it just happened, and sometimes that's what happens. But yeah, I think it's all about like breaking what is expected of you, what society depicts as perfection, as happiness, and like telling you what it means. And after coming out, I just kind of let go of like that like power that I allowed people to have over me about who they think I am or who they think I should be.
Or should be is like a big one. The should is like, no, you should be who you want to be, what makes you happy. Like, I think we would all be, personally, you and I would be sad if we did what other people wanted us to do, because we very much like to do our own thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wonder too if you, okay. I don't know if this is my place to ask, but do you think your partner does still identify as a lesbian also, right?
No, my partner actually identifies as pan. Yeah. And I mean, I still like will, like, whenever I'm talking about us, I'm like, since we're lesbians, like I always like say that, and like they're not phased by it
Yeah.
because like I feel like
But I
when
think
you also kind of identify that way, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's their definition also. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's their definition of pan.
Yes.
Is that it includes that term as well.
exactly.
Exactly.
That's why pan is such a lovely term because it doesn't really limit you. You
Gotcha.
know?
I think, okay, so not to bring it to bisexuality, but I heard a definition like that I've been meaning to say too, is that like the bi and bisexuality, the bi part is not men and women.
Yeah.
The bi is heterosexual and homosexual.
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes so much more sense.
Yes.
Like to me, I'm like, this is what I've been, you know, because a lot of people would say that the bisexuality further imposes the binary, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
To me, like that's, again, what I had said before is people like me and people not like me.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed.
I agree. Because it doesn't get, because there's plenty of like non-binary characters that I've seen that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like totally attracted to them too.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Yeah.
yeah. But for
It's a
me,
spectrum.
pan doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Because that's my term
Yeah.
of bisexuality. That's my, for
Yeah.
me.
It's enough.
Yeah.
Bisexual is enough
Definitely.
for you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got you.
And being a lesbian is enough for you.
Hell yeah. It's more than enough. I'm dicolor. Yeah. It just feels
You're
so
so funny.
it just feels so good, friend. Like
Yeah.
for 29 years of my life, I was trying to make myself happy for people. And after coming out, I just kind of let every fear go. I let every care in the world of what people thought of me, whether it was my family or my friends or whoever, strangers. Like, I really don't care. Like, obviously, like, my safety is a concern because there are hateful people in the world and people that just don't understand or grasp the idea of being in a relationship with not a man.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I feel so much in my power using the term lesbian, and I'm so connected to that part of myself because I suppressed it for so long. And I think the reason why lesbian to me is a term that I identify closely with is just because I tried so hard to be a non-lesbian my whole life. And so like now I'm just like I'm a dyke, and I love it, and I own it, and I'm so grateful I get to be a part of not just the LGBTQIA plus community, but I'm so fucking proud to be a lesbian. And I'm proud of my community. I think our community is just the most beautiful thing in the world.
And you should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think about that. I think about it too in the terms of like a lot of like straight people are proud to be straight because that's their norm, and you should be allowed to be proud of who
You are.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Like, you should be allowed to be proud of who you are because they obviously are proud of who they are.
Yeah.
Because there's no pushback in the way
Exactly.
that they are being.
Yeah.
So you should also be allowed to be proud of it.
Yeah. And historically too, in the article, and they mentioned a little bit about how back then, you know, non-binary wasn't coined yet. Like, you know, it's more of a newer term in quotes. Okay, I'm going to continue with the article. I'm going to start here. While people would fit the modern label of gender nonconforming lesbian have been around forever, the more modern history begins with some of the lesbians dressing in a masculine fashion as a safety measure. One of the more notable historical examples is Anne Lister, who gained the moniker the first modern lesbian. Her diaries described her relationships with multiple women in detail, and she was known for dressing in an extremely masculine fashion. However, the more notable contributions to the history of lesbians is skewing the gender binary come from Black lesbians in the 1900s. Black lesbians created the majority of the labels some lesbians use to identify themselves today. The most common being butch, femme, and stud, and stem. The latter two used specifically and exclusively for Black lesbians. So, you know, there's a history, and back then, like, they didn't really use the term non-binary, but that's, you know, that's what they were.
Yeah,
you know.
I think even, not to bring a TV show, but even we saw that in A League of Their Own with Bert.
Yes.
Like, that too, I think is, and even Abby and Max talking about it too.
Oh yeah.
The start of like them just like, because I'm not sure if Bert was trans or was
I think he was trans.
okay, so I think but with Max and Abby, it's like I forget her name in the show, but it's Abby.
Yeah.
That's them. It's the same thing as like, what if like even Abby says like an in between almost.
Yes.
Like definitely that's what they were trying to portray with that.
Exactly. So like the whole concept of non-binary has always been there, and and there's also, I mean, I don't have anything to back this up, but I know that in the Native community, you know, they're two-spirited people, and then back even in Egyptian times, there were non-binary people back then. And the whole binary was constructed by societies to polarize, you know, to divide, to conquer, to, you know, benefit from it.
Oh, well, yeah, that's my favorite thing is that like just because we didn't have a term for it doesn't mean it exists, right?
Exactly.
You know, and even that where you're talking about like that, a lot of that binary and everything pushed on us was to exclude, like you're just saying that like stud and like STEM or butch is like specifically for Black lesbians because of you're being pushed out and excluded, they create a term for themselves and that becomes theirs.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like that's what happens when you start to exclude people is that we have to almost come up with names with it to get people to understand.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Non-binary people get a lot of shit as trans people do, and also like the whole concept, a lot of people who are non-binary do identify as trans. Some people don't. Yeah. And that is completely true to their truth. Exactly. You know, and that always depends on the person. And I just wish people would be more respectful, and also would make more of an effort to understand the language, just to be respectful, because I mean, you know, especially when you're trans or non-binary, it's really common. You know, I was working with someone who's a photographer, and they asked me like, so you're non-binary? And I was like, yeah, I am. And then they're like, oh, well, like, I apologize if I misgendered you. They still misgender me all the time, which to an extent I'm like, it's fine. And then to another extent I'm like, you're not really making an effort. Yeah. And they were talking about somebody else that they knew that was non-binary. And they were like, yeah, and this person was non-binary and she was blah, 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 blah. And she, la, 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 la. And then she, la, la, la. And I'm just like, well, or like when people are like, oh, she's non-binary or he's non-binary, I'm just like, they are. It's not hard, people.
I feel you too. And that too is like it's a performative effort. It's not really an effort. It's like
the ball's in your court now because I already told you I'm trying. Like if I mess up, don't hold me accountable. Because
which sucks because it's like it's like you were saying, it's fine that they do that. It's not fine that they do that, but you're in a professional setting, so you're you have no options almost unless you don't want to work, basically. Exactly. So you're stuck that way. But if people on the other end made that more of an effort, like it's really not hard. Yeah. like even like you're talking about the TikTok, I don't know what they identify as, so I said they because I don't know. Yeah. So it's not a complicated, it definitely does take practice, I'll say that. Yeah. But again, it's about the effort. It's the effort. It's I think a lot of the times people don't realize it's performative. They think that I'm sorry is enough. It's not enough. It's not. It's really not. Yeah.
And if it slips, like, I'm not like super anal about it, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like there are times where it does make me feel uncomfortable, like when people make a mistake and they make it a huge deal and they keep doing it. It does suck, you know. And I mean, we've had this conversation probably like a year ago, like when I was still, you know, going by she, they. You know, I told you, I'm like, I'm scared to let go of the she because then I'm going to be misgendered all the time. And to this day, like there's a video posted about me with this lovely person that I worked with, and she did like a little promo for me. it was super sweet, and they referred to me as they, and I loved that. And then somebody commented, and they were like, "Oh, does she sanitize?" Blah 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 blah. And then they were like, "Yeah, they do, but they can probably answer that better than I could." So like people that make the effort, like I appreciate you all so much, and I know I'm not alone because I've met so many people. I just had a client who went by she they, and like they were telling me that they're not letting go of the she because it's just like I just like don't feel like stressing over.
I feel like that's a lot of people who like go by she they, not that I'm trying to invalidate them at all, but I feel like a lot of times they might hang on to that just so they don't have to deal with that on a daily, because it's kind of a mind trick. And at that point, how you were saying back when you did make the decision is that it was kind of living for other people. Yeah. Like you're trying to make them comfortable when that's crap. When personally for me, I'm like, nobody's trying to make me comfortable, so I'm not going to make you comfortable anymore. You know, I just like, okay, so I know that a lot of people don't understand it. And like, I think this is my experience. I don't want to speak for you, but for me, I'm like, you don't have to understand to respect. It's literally as easy as replacing a pronoun. Like it's not hard. It's really not hard.
It's just getting the hang of it.
And a lot of times what I would do is like to learn, I mean, for everybody to learn, I would say the sentence in my head and then replace it. How would you say it like this? And you replace it. Or if I'm speaking about you in the third person, or I'm telling Bernie like, oh, I'm going to Jenny's, I say your name instead of like, you know, to quote unquote make the sentence fit a little bit better. That makes it more understanding. Because I know, I don't know, like people have a hard time doing that. You can always just use people's names.
Absolutely.
It's really like, I feel like not to speak for you, but you would much rather use your name than the wrong pronoun. You know what I mean?
And that's like also like the funny thing about like non-binary people that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about is like I'm still pretty comfortable with my name, even though it's considered like the connotation is very feminine. And like for me, like I'm spiritual, so like I know I am made up of masculine and feminine energy. That doesn't mean I'm a man or a woman. I'm made up of both, and I'm made up of neither. And to me, that makes sense in my head. And so that's why like I have chosen not to change my name or be referred to as something else, because I'm comfortable with my name. But that's not the case for every non-binary person. You know, some non-binary people present more masculine or more neutral or more feminine, and that doesn't invalidate their identity.
Oh, definitely.
And that's like another concept that I think a lot of people don't get. And then some people that you know dress really masc may refer to themselves as she they or she her, or like that's why it's important to ask. It's important to consider, because like you just don't know what someone identifies as.
Oh, definitely.
Like, I've met pretty femme non-binary people. I've met pretty masc non-binary people, you know,
because I think too, when we're saying femme or masc, that's our perception of how they are. In that with them, that whoever the person is, they could be like, oh, I'm just wearing this today, and we perceive it as masc or feminine, when that may not. They just be like, oh, this is just what I wear, this is what I'm comfortable in. It's, you know, they didn't mean to look masc or femme, quote unquote, that day. It's what we're perceiving. So, you know,
and some people like Alok. Have you heard of Alok? They're like activists for the non-binary community, and they talk a lot about or like they present in both ways, in all the ways, in neither of the ways, you know. And that's the beauty of being non-binary. It's like you don't have to fit into this mold so that you get identified. You can come off as whatever you want to be, and you are who you are.
Definitely. Yeah, so. I think so too. Yeah, I think too, like I was saying, you don't have to because I don't know the trans experience. I will never know. That's not my, but I can be respectful, and I can understand that this is your experience, and how you would like me to refer to you is exactly what I'll do. It's, and there's even times too where like, and it's not for like points, but like if I'm talking or like texting, or I'm like, oh, Jenny and I are doing this or that, I'm like, I still refer to you as they when I'm messaging people, when you're nowhere near.
I know,
because
friend.
that's what I feel like it's really simple. That's what be respectful to you. That's you're my friend. Even for people I don't know.
Yeah.
That's respectful. That, you know, we have well, at work there's a couple people who will identify as she, they, and I use both. And other people will continue to say, and I'm like, well, I'm going to use this because this is what they asked me to do.
Yeah.
And if that's up to you to respect that, I'm not going to police, because I know a lot of times it might make people uncomfortable if I bulldog my way in there and I'm like, I'm going to do this for you. So I just let it, but I'm like, that's up for you to say. But for me, it's my language that I can control, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My partner identifies as she, they too, and I interchange it all the time.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, like, when people don't know, like, them,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and I interchange it, sometimes I wonder, I'm like, do they think I'm misgendering my partner because I'm interchanging they and she?
Yeah.
You know, just some people don't know, which is fine. But yeah, I think being non-binary, or just the concept of non-binary, is still something that a lot of people are curious about. A lot of people want to know more, and so that's why I really wanted to make this episode, and I really wanted to touch on the concept of being non-binary and lesbian, because it does make sense to people and it is valid.
Yeah.
Some people don't see it as being valid, but it is.
Definitely.
What else?
Oh, I was just going to say, if you're going to keep apologizing about misgendering, how about don't keep apologizing? Just let's get it.
Let's just don't talk to me.
I'm just like, you're saying sorry. Like, I've seen that before too. Literally, we're like, oh, she is non-binary. I'm like, that's not how that works. Unless they specifically said, hey, these are my pronouns.
Yeah.
You know, but like, come on.
Yeah.
It's very, I don't know. It's very performative, and it's not genuine, and we just don't have time for non-genuine people in our lives.
So, and some people like go by all pronouns.
Yeah.
And when that's the case, I feel comfortable using they, them whenever they use all pronouns, because some days, like, you might feel a certain way and some days you might not feel a certain way. Like, some days I feel comfortable presenting more feminine, some days I don't. Some days I feel fucking hot, like just looking like I do right now, which is like no makeup, a fucking beanie, and just like whatever. And then it's also kind of a mind fuck for me, because I'm technically not out to my family with my gender, and I'm also Mexican, and we speak Spanish, and the Spanish language is very gendered, so I have to refer to myself as a female. And so that in itself kind of creates this, like, even like my partner too, like, I feel like we both go through this when we're with like our families, and you know, they're referring to us as hija, or like tia, or like something feminine that we, you know, we're always called. Like, for us it's kind of like normal, but then there is a part of me that just kind of like it kind of like nudges me, or like irks me a little bit when I have to identify that way. But like, for me, it would just be kind of impossible, at least at this point in time, to kind of explain it to my family, and I really don't feel like being invalidated, because I did feel invalidated from some family members when I came out. And it was very emotionally taxing for me. And I really don't want to go through that. And so, yeah, that's just the reality of it. If you know what I mean, if, you know, you're in a culture like mine.
And how do you change the language for that? It's literally like there is kind of, you know, the X, and like Latinx and stuff like that. And then the way you like would talk about someone, there are certain ways to do it. You use an E instead of like a O or a A. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like a A is feminine, a O is masculine. So a lot of people replace it with an E. And the E is kind of representing as non-binary.
So there is a way.
There is a way.
Okay, gotcha.
There is a way.
I'm over here, obviously, and I know a little Spanish, but I don't really speak Spanish, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, there's different ways, but it's like a whole other language. I personally, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I personally don't understand the non-binary language in Spanish.
Okay.
Yet I have not gotten a grasp of it, but for me it's more of like an emotional and mental thing as to why I haven't looked into it, because I'm like, I just like, I feel like if I look into it, I'm gonna want to.
Yeah.
And I'm just like emotionally not there. I'm just like I'm mentally not there, friend. Like
I'm a pusher. I'm a pusher, Katie.
I know you are.
Well, I was going to ask before that, because I didn't realize that there was a way. Would it be more comfortable if they also used an O, or like used the masculine term language, or interchanged it?
For me personally, no.
Okay,
because like I rather be perceived as a woman than a man.
Gotcha. Okay.
If I were to choose.
Okay.
So for me, it's like, even though it irks me, I much rather be like, I stand more in my power and my feminine energy. So like, you know, I would feel more comfortable in that sense.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Now I learned something new today.
you did.
I did. Okay.
Yay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because I'm thinking too, I would think if using the like the male I guess terminology like that skewed that way, I wonder if that would feel more condescending. You know?
Yeah.
Just from my point of view.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on the person.
Gotcha.
But
Something to, when you're ready, something to look into. Well, also, it's not only your responsibility to look into it, you know.
I mean, I do want to learn because,
Yeah.
you know, it is my community. Like if I go to Mexico and like, you know, I don't know if like, if I meet, you know, queer community members,
Yeah.
like I would love to learn from them. Because I mean, there's still a lot. I'm a baby gay. Like I came out like almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
2.5 years ago. So there's still so much I have to learn. There's still so much I have to unlearn as far as like what's been, you know, implemented in our minds, and we've been brainwashed to understanding binaries, and like it's been so ingrained in us. So there is a lot of unlearning and learning to do.
Maybe that's just it too, is that like the experience in ingraining yourself in the community of that, because we were talking about that as like being more a part of the community and meeting those people and learn, like you said, learning from other non-binary people who speak Spanish also, like, you know, and how they go about it, because you only ever like get new information by learning from each other, you know. That's how terms change, that's how definitions change, as we learn from each other. And oh, this person does it like this, oh wow, I like that, I think I might also like take that on, kind of.
Language grows.
And it just experience and exposure, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, agreed.
Definitely. How exciting.
What a lovely
I
episode.
know.
Thank you, friend, for holding the space.
Of course. And it's your energy. I love your little house energy.
Thanks, friend.
It's so cute in here. You have done more decorating since you moved in than I've done in like most of my house in forever.
I don't know. I spend like most of my time here.
Yeah.
So like,
So do I, but at my house, but I'm like, I'd rather like chill.
I think it's because this is the first time I have lived on my own.
Yeah.
Without a partner and without my family.
Very true.
So like every freaking morning I wake up, I'm like so grateful for these four walls. I'm so grateful for everything I have. And so I think I just like, not to say that you're not, I'm just saying like I just like, I've waited so long.
I feel you. I'm so happy for you. And it's very much you in here.
Thanks, friend.
Yeah. The energy, your energy is all through here.
Thanks, friend.
Hey.
I love you so much.
I love you too. Don't look at me when you say that.
I just do.
I do too.
I
friend.
appreciate you holding space for me. I will always hold space for you. Oh my God, I'm fine. I won't.
Yeah.
I won't. Okay.
Same.
So it's just
You listened to me earlier. We will always listen to each other.
yes.
For sure. Okay.
All right.
Please follow us on Instagram. It's One Thing Queer. And my personal Instagram is SpexRayX.
And my personal Instagram is at Jenny Lynn Bouton. And I also have a witchy page where I do readings, card readings, and energy healing. It's at Celestial Light Witch on TikTok and on IG.
Yeah. And follow us on TikTok. It's One Thing Queer Podcast. Give us a like, follow, share,
That would really help us out.
answer the questions on my stories. Just kidding.
Send us, if you have questions, like hit us up on Instagram or email us at onethinkqueer@gmail.com if you want to come on the show, or if you have any questions. We're in the LA area, so let us know.
Yeah, again, with the LA area, if you know of like events or you're holding, I don't know, public events, let us know.
And shout out to Dyke Day LA, because they've been sharing us since our podcast started.
They have.
And we appreciate it so
Yeah,
much.
definitely.
We love you all.
Yes. It's so exciting. All right. Oh my God, there's another gnat.
They're everywhere, friend. I don't know what to do with my life.
Okay, well, we will.
It's the gnats. The energy is the gnats. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we will see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Music by Jacody Lamone. Produced by Kelsey Wren and Jenny Baton. Edited by Jenny Baton.